The upper river Tana and Sondu Miriu river catchments are some of the country's critical ecosystems that sustain river Tana and Sondu Miriu river respectively, on which the Seven Forks Dam, the Sondu Miriu Hydro Dam and Sangoro power plant that produce most of the country's hydroelectric power are situated. It is for this reason that the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum, through the Kenya Energy and Environment Social Responsibility Programme Fund, also referred to as the KEEP Fund, started a project to rehabilitate degraded parts of these water catchments. KEEP Fund was established through a government legal notice number LN 188/2007.
This program is part of what we call Kenya Energy and Environment Social Responsibility Program, which was started way back in 2010-2011. The purpose of that program was for the energy sector to be able to contribute to the preservation of the environment, particularly in areas where we draw our energy from.
Since the year 2013 to date, more than 1,000 hectares of degraded forest areas in the catchments of the two rivers have been rehabilitated using this fund due to the role they play in sustaining water flow for the said rivers.
The rehabilitation is not an easy exercise. It is not a one-off thing that you come and plant and then go. We have been in each one of those sites. We have been there for not less than 3 years. That takes time and resources and commitments.
The launch of the Rehabilitation of Degraded Water Catchments program was based on the need to restore degraded forest areas in order to provide enough water for the production of hydroelectric power, as well as reduce siltation in these rivers, which eventually ends up in the hydro dams.
The aim is to rehabilitate these sites with a view to, one, return our water catchment areas to their original state so that they can be able to produce the much needed resources, including water, which can be used for power generation.
The other objective was to create employment for the communities adjacent to the forests that help in conservation of these water catchment areas.
We want to continue creating jobs for the youth, for the women, for the men, and a lot has gone into that. They are the ones who do who dig the holes. They are the ones who do spot weeding for the seedlings. They are the ones who do the beating up. They are the ones who do the protection of the sites, and they are paid for that.
We have seen changes in our community because community have changed the attitude of believing that the trees are there to be cut. The seedlings that they were planted in these areas were brought from a community, and so they got some wages, and at the end of the day they have something to eat.
The first phase was started in 2012 and was successfully completed in 2015. A new phase of the project has since been started every year since 2013. For a site to be considered a success, survival rate of the planted seedlings must be at least 80%. As part of the Bond Challenge, Kenya committed to rehabilitate 5.1 million hectares of degraded forest areas in the country.
We have committed to rehabilitate 5.1 million degraded areas across the country. These areas includes where we are today, and this is to be done by the year 2030, and therefore this is to tell Kenyans that that initiative has already started through the sites that we are seeing here today.
Since the program started, a total of 1,100 hectares has been rehabilitated in more than 10 sites in various counties across the country. The program sought, through a competitive bidding process, to engage contractors for each project site. These were expected to work with the existing local CFAs in the execution of the rehabilitation activities.
My name is Miriu from Camfor Company Limited, one of the contractors working with the Ministry of Energy and the Kenya Forest Service in rehabilitating the water towers of the Aberdares and Mount Kenya. What we do is that we start by mobilizing the community to understand the importance of the forest where they live next to. And then after that, we start by clearing the forest area that is being rehabilitated.
So far, the project has been implemented in 5 different phases, where in the first phase, 255 hectares were rehabilitated in the following forests: Zuti in Nyeri County, Castle in Kirinyaga County, Mbeu 1A and Mushiene in Meru County. Phase 2 involved Njukeine in Embu County, Chuka in Tharaka-Nithi County, Hombe and Zuti in Nyeri County, and Kaunga Katekene in Meru County, where a total of 311 hectares were rehabilitated.
The key tributary of River Tana comes from Mount Kenya, in fact where we are. Therefore, this is a project that is really helping in conservation of these 2 water towers, and mainly we are planting original indigenous tree species, because we believe these are the species that need to be in these areas for continued forest conservation.
A total of 299 hectares were rehabilitated during Phase 3 of the project in Saino in Nakuru County, Ndoinet in Kericho County, and Chepalungu in Bomet County, which are water catchment areas for Sondu Miriu River. Phase 4 consisted of Koguta's site in Kisumu County and part of Nyambene Hills in Meru County, where 61 hectares of degraded water catchments have been rehabilitated. In addition, Phase 5 covers Enosupukia Forest in Narok County with 150 hectares.
The forest cover of this region is below 1%, and now when this project will succeed, it means this project will act as a role model or a demonstration plot for the people around this area to come and learn that even if the areas can be difficult, they can be afforested.
Various benefits are expected from the program. Rehabilitation of the degraded forest areas, for example, will mean more rainfall and enhanced water flow to the dams and less siltation carried in the rivers. This is expected to increase electricity generation, a necessary step towards providing the much-needed power to households and industries.
We have so many small streams that also get their lifeline from this ecosystem. The small streams are very important because the ministry also promotes the development of small hydro dams. The small hydro dams are actually supposed to help communities to generate their own electric power.
Some of the challenges encountered during the implementation of the project have been the management of invasive species like the Lantana camara and Mauritius thorn, which had invaded some of the sites and choked the growth of trees. Grazing was also a challenge in some of the areas where residents practice animal farming. Farmers were, however, sensitized on appropriate animal husbandry methods, which include the cut and carry method, where farmers cut the grass in the forest for feeding their livestock back at home.
Serikali tunashukuru kwa hii muradi sana. Tumesaidia sisi kwa hii nyasi sana. Hii nyasi ni mzuri, ng'ombe akikula maziwa anatoka mingi.
The project has been hailed as a success due to the unique methodology used in the rehabilitation of degraded indigenous forest areas. The Ministry of Energy and Petroleum is looking forward to replicating this method in the rehabilitation of other river catchments to enhance hydroelectricity generation in the country.